All right, now since we're trying to name singers and the approach, the vocal approaches that they used, we really should go through what Lily Lehman called breath stops. And the breath stop is you simply deliberately leak air, blow air like this, and you go pa, 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 which is all wrong because the air is being blown out, the air is moving. And then I stop the air like this, ba, ba, ba. So I can either go pa, I can go pa. See? Go through the alphabet. A, B, 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 C, 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 D, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z. In other words, every sound I make should not leak air. It should be stopped, period. And I wanted to sort of try to demonstrate a little bit today about singers that I've known, literally personally, some of them, many of them really, most of them I guess that I list, and some I didn't know but I heard all about, and people told me how they sang and they wrote how they sang and so forth. So if we use the breath stop approach, and we start off, let's say, with Fernando de Lucia, who was the king of the bel canto singers, and he, according to him, he stopped the breath on his lips. And he taught John McCormack, who was the only singer probably that ever sold more recordings than Caruso in the classical world. McCormack was just world famous, and but used that De Lucia method to make an incredible career. And the most successful French tenor was Georges Thiel, Thiel, and he learned also from De Lucia. So here's three singers that used the breath stop on the lips who had really fantastic careers. So if I do that, I go pa, and then I'm going to stop it on my lips. Pa, 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 pa. Stop it right there. When I sing, I go like that. So I'm not letting any air, nothing comes out of me except sound. Anything that comes through here is sound. The only thing that goes through your air, through your throat, is air. We call it breath. And therefore, the only thing that can damage your voice is breath or air. So you never let air slip through your vocal cords while you're singing. One of the best ways to cure people of nodules and things like that is to stop the leak. Somewhere they're leaking air. They tried to get Adele to come to me, and apparently that didn't work out. And now she's singing, I hear now, she's singing one phrase at a time, because she can still get hoarse if she sings very long. So anyway, that's not to say anything bad about a fabulously successful person who's the public loves her. Everybody loves her. It's a billionaire, billions of dollars type career, and more power to her. But you know, you admire people who have that much talent, that much contact with the public, and you'd like to have a chance to at least show them one thing, which is don't leak air. Now, the next one would be to bypass this one and stop at the back of the neck. So if I go like this, pa, pa, and any number of singers have sung the back of the neck that I know personally. Joan Sutherland sang the back of her neck. Franco Corelli used to sing what he called behind the glottal stroke. The breath is stopped. Right? That's a couple of singers right there. Jerome Hines used to do the Miller maneuver like this. And then sing there. So the breath does not leak, and it is stopped somewhere that I choose. We have a lot of great singers that use this, and there's some very good examples. There was a Polish tenor named Jan Kipura, who made a fabulous career, did the first Turandot Kalaf in England, in the British premiere of the opera Turandot. He was the tenor. And Dame Ava Turner, who came to New York, I had lessons with her, master classes with her, and she was the first Turandot in England. So they all talked about sort of the same things all the time. It was amazing. But the one thing that seemed to be common was don't sing breathy. They asked Adelina Patti, how do you sing? She said, don't sing breathy. Supposed to be the only perfect singer that ever lived, right? And according to Lema, said she was endowed by God with everything that a singer can possibly have or aspire to have. And we should all work constantly to perfect our art. But Patti was born with it. So who knows? But she did say, don't sing breathy. Now, if I use Mr. Kipura's here, he did it at the top of his head, right against the skull. So he would go like that. Pa, pa, how are you today? I'm going downtown. I don't know what I'll do. When I get down there, I've got to buy some groceries. We're running out of food at home. The idea is you can spend a whole lifetime singing up on the top of your head if your breath is not leaking. We have one of these. This doesn't lie. It tells us when the breath is leaking. So it's nice to know to be independent and to know that all I need is a Kleenex, sometimes a mirror. All I need is a tissue paper, toilet paper. A lot of singers work. Let's see if I've got it here somewhere. Well, I guess I don't have it. Oh, there it is. A lot of singers, and I made a videotape and demonstrated this a little bit. But if you do this one, you have the advantage of being not having to hold your hands in the air. You can do that. Right? All right, so after I do this one, then I'm going to come down and sing right here in my third eye. And that technique got very famous because a German tenor named Max Lorenz became the great Tristan Tannhäuser Siegfried. In other words, the heavy type of Helden tenor, of heroic tenor. And all during the war, he sang these monster operas in Berlin. Never had a vocal problem and sang for years and years like that. And his breath stop was right here. So you go like that. Pa, pa. So if I do some kind of Wagner, and I want to sing, make the voice carry over that monster orchestration all the time, I can sing up here by stopping my breath here. Now, Alfredo Kraus was a lyric tenor and actually became a friend of mine. And he told me what he learned. This is supposed to be the technique of Francesco Tamagno. And Tamagno endowed this school in Spain. I think it's in Bilbao. I don't quite remember what city it was, but I think it was Bilbao. And Alfredo Kraus went to school there and studied there. And everyone there learned the Francesco Tamagno vocal technique, and he was famous. Verdi wrote Otello for him. So, the voice, it was a monstrous, dramatic tenor. Alfredo Kraus was a lyric tenor. So he was taught to stop the breath on the tip of his nose. So he did that. I put the paper right against the tip of my nose. Ba, 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 pa, ba, pa, ba, ba. That is not trying to sound like anybody else. Just sing with your voice, but do it with breath stops. That's all. Richard Tucker, that I admired so much, he was the best Verdi tenor I ever heard. Fabulous, fabulous singer, really could sing anything and always dependable and sang for years and never had vocal problems like some of the singers did. His breath stop, which he used very deliberately, was on his upper lip. He called it on his mustache. He said, breathe behind you and then stop the breath on your mustache. All right, so I'm going to breathe behind me. And then I'm going to do this. Pa, 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 no, no. So I'd sing right there. And if you get that breath to stop on that upper lip, Tucker's voice just fill the theater, right? And I'm talking about Metropolitan Opera. He was like the star at the Metropolitan Opera all the years that I was a student, and I actually studied with him for about 6 months. And the guy was unbelievable because he could sing anything and everything was good. And the voice was always good. I heard him sing light stuff like Così fan tutte and monster operas like Forza Celestino well, he sang Andrea Shani. He sang everything. And it was just gorgeous. Absolutely beautiful. Anyway, so his breath stop was on the mustache. The next one would be the one that Aureliano Pertile used, who was the dramatic tenor at La Scala before the Second World War, during the Second World War, and after the Second World War. He did all the Otellos there. He did all the big operas. He did, of course, Aida and Andrea Chenier and all these, Gioconda and all these big operas, Forza Celestino. And he did them how? He actually wrote a book and drew diagrams of how he did it. He explained it like this. If this were your mouth, you stop the breath right here. Your breath stop is in midair, right in the middle of your mouth. So you do this. Pa, pa, la, la. Puts that bite on the voice, and the voice carries like a rocket when you do that, by the way. But he sang Otello that way, you know, he'd sing, I don't have my keys or anything like that. Let's see. Ora per sempre addio, santa memoria. Now it helps to have the right kind of voice for that kind of stuff. So I can sing all the notes. And I was offered Otello in Wiesbaden in the Hessen State Theater in Germany when I was 26 years old. And I accepted it. Then I injured myself in the summer and I couldn't open the season with it. And as it turned out, somehow I came to my senses and I realized I probably shouldn't sing it. So then I sort of let it ride. And they cast me in lyric stuff because I had a big old corset. I was wearing a real tight rib cage controller to keep my ribs because I separated my ribs. And I could hardly breathe, much less sing. But I sang lyric parts in Wiesbaden, and they said, oh, he's really a lyric tenor. Okay, great. So then I didn't have to sing that next time. I mean, not Otello anyway. But if I sang it, I would sing it right there, like that. In other words, if I want to make a banging, ringy sound and sing music, and that music is, I still think, I'm 85 years old day before yesterday, and I think that even at my age, I'm still not an Otello. I'm finally coming to my senses in my old age. But I used to think, oh yeah, I can sing the notes, that means I can sing the opera. Well, you go home and work with the piano, and it works great, and you go to the theater and hear the orchestra, and you can't believe what's going on, particularly Wagner. Particularly the big Wagner. The big Wagners are both Siegfrieds, that's Goethe, Debnung, and Siegfried, Tannhäuser, and Tristan and Isolde. Those are the big four. I did all the rest of them, and Laus Melchior said, you can sing the easy ones. I will sing the big ones. So you stay away from I said, okay. The easy one. Much singing from Nuremberg's 5.5 hours long. He called it the easy one. Anyway, so the next breath stop after this would be the tip of the tongue right here. Right there. Pa, 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 pa. How are you today? It's so nice to see you. Those of you who want to use speaking methods when you sing, I can say, how are you today? But I keep my tongue right there and I stop my breath there. How are you today? I'm going to go down and get something to eat. I'll see you later. Would you like to come along with me? We'll go down and get something to eat. The idea is by keeping this stopped right here, it affects the whole back of your neck and your whole root of your tongue and everything. You have to sing somewhere else. If you can't use all this stuff, you've got to go somewhere else. So this is a very good one. And it's nice to use it, right? So the next one would be the breath stop that Mario Delmonico used, which was the one right here in the sternal notch, here in the hole. Then you go, pa, 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 la, se contrariere vossi, se mio sogno si avverasse, un esercito di prodi guidado. See, the idea is you sing with the breath that I asked Delmonico, so it doesn't have to make your throat tired. He said, oh, no, no. See, I never let the breath come higher than here. If I let the breath slip and come up here, it can wreck my voice. See, which is what apparently happened to Franco Corelli. Anyway, the idea is to stop the breath. Stop the breath. We have this thing, it will help us know, and we should use it. Don't sort of ignore it. Really use it as a tool, and you sort of program yourself, sort of brainwash yourself, that one is leaking, pa, and the other is stopped. Right there. You see Berling saying here on his sternum. Pa, pa, ma marito no mi sguardo l'incontro. But stop here. Some singers just use the epigastric area. Jan Pierce was the best I ever heard technically. He didn't have a big voice like some of the other guys, but he was a great singer. And he knew how to hold that right there. And he'd go, pa, pa. See? L'ultima avanzata, still ben felice, te raccogliete voi. And the pressure, the breath leak is stopped and no air is coming out and only sound is coming out. And I've got this case right now, I've got to stop right in my epigastrium, right here on my outside of my diaphragm here. The next one is the navel. Pavarotti sang the navel. So I go, here we go. Pa, pa. So when you talked about Pavarotti, he said you stop the breath there, you don't leak, you're not breathy. Pretty much what Annina Patti was saying, like, 100 years earlier or something, right? So the idea is when I stop the breath right here and I sing, I go, si Renato rivedrà l'Inghilterra. In other words, you can sing forever that way because it doesn't use the voice. It doesn't do anything. The throat is not being used. I mean, I'm 85. I just turned 85. I'm very proud I made it this far. But I still sing all day. Because, and the reason that's possible, and it doesn't affect my voice, is that I don't leak air. Period. I don't put my voice anywhere. I put it on the diaphragm. That stops my breath. And then my voice resonates according to the old geezer voice. When I was younger, it was prettier. But I had hair, too. So maybe I'm like Samson. Maybe the hair makes the voice. Anyway, below the navel is the abdomen. And that's where Caruso said that he sighed big time and did a contrae motion. So you breathe, you pull that in, he said, and you do a contrae motion and you lean the breath on that spot and then you don't leak. So I'm going to go, pa, 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 see? I'm mostly men because I was a tenor, and I know the interviews I had, but I was very friendly with Maria Callas and Joan Sutherland and Birgit Nilsson, a lot of famous singers. I even sang with some of them. And for instance, Birgit Nilsson stopped her breath in the perineum, she said. So if I go, pa, and it's like I'm blowing it out down right in the center of my body, down low. It goes, pa, 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 oh, today I'm feeling fine. I'm gonna go downtown and get something to eat. See, I've got to stop right down there in the center of my stride. Another one was one Joan Sutherland used, for instance, was the breath stop on the tip of the tailbone. So if I do this, pa, I feel like I'm blowing it out my rear end that way. Pa, see? Pa, and then I stop it there. Ah, no, no, no. And I can sing anything that way, right? Breath is your best friend or your worst enemy. It will kill you if it gets in your throat. The last one that I'll do today was between the shoulder blades. That was Krista Ludwig. And she could sing anything. She sang a 50-year career or longer, 60 years, I don't even know. She sang forever, never had a vocal problem. Her breath stop was between her shoulder blades. So I go, ha, ha. What am I doing back there? Think about it. La luce l'ombra alla mia volontà del mio desire. I can sing anything I want to back there, including Wagner if I want to. Morgenlich leuchtend im rosigen Schein, von Blüt und Duft geschwellt die Luft, von allen Wonden die Sonne, den Garten lud mich. In other words, he sings that whole big deal 9 times in the second act. You have to get used to singing ways that let you sing for a long time and survive. But anyway, that'll give you the idea of sort of the cycle of breath stops among the singers that I have known personally. And then a couple of them I knew, witnesses, have talked to them, heard them, were friends with them, and stuff like that, right? Rose Monsell just said she sang deeper and deeper and deeper. Well, where's the breath stop happen then? It goes right down in the bigger Nelson place, in the perineum. Right there, see? All right, so let's think about that and give it a little thought and see, get out that tissue paper. Maybe put it over your head, because when I teach, I demonstrate by holding it up. But if I were singing and warming up for a performance, I wouldn't use this. I'd use that toilet paper because it hangs down. I don't need my hands to hold it up in the air. The idea is not to have to hold it up in the air all the time. Okay? Okay. They both work. Bye.